Hey cuties, welcome back. Today let me tell you about how I journal. This year I've sort of changed and shifted the ways that I journal, and it just makes journaling a little bit more interesting. So this is the journal that I'm using for this year. I wanted something that's big enough to be able to be my everything notebook. Like if you've seen if you've seen Austin Alley, the book that Allie carries everywhere, like it's her everything book. She puts everything that she loves or thinks about, that she cares about, in that book. And I wanted something like that, so I needed something that's big and sturdy, so I got this. And how beautiful is that? I started journaling in 2021, and I mean, I guess I was too young at that point or whatever, but I never could do it like consistently. Whenever I had this burst of motivation, I would write, and then I wouldn't continue it every single day. So it wasn't a daily journal, but I did start writing journals and understanding how it works and how it makes you feel then. And even though I didn't write it consistently, I'm telling you, it's one of the best things that I did for myself in that period of time, and its impacts till now. Because not only do I have a saved memory of what I felt, experienced, and lived in that moment in time, but I also know how I express myself and how it has changed throughout the years, how I have changed throughout the years, what hopes and dreams I had then, and what things matter to me now. And especially when you're in college, it's really helpful to understand who you were as a kid or who you were a few years before, to help you see that it's okay wherever you are to be a little more grateful and thankful in your journey wherever you are. And last year was a little bit more better, where I tried to be more consistent with the way that I journaled, and it worked well because I have a great reference point into how I've evolved or how I've grown since last year. And that might seem like, what, are you a Pokemon ball? Are you a Pokemon? Why do you need evolution? But it definitely shows how I've changed just in a year. And to be able to recognize it in words is crazy. So last year, my go-to way of writing a journal would just to be, it's a greeting to myself from the past to the future. So the future me will read that passage, and that greeting is me saying hello to my future self. And then I would just blurt out whatever comes to my mind, and 2 lines of gratefulness at the end. But this year, I do not know why, I've been really wanting it to be all over the place, because I feel like just having a journal for a letter to future self is boring. So the way that I've spiced things up is I write my journal entries like chapters. So it goes chapter 1, blah blah blah, and then the entire chapter, and then chapter 2, and blah blah blah. So it's obviously not consistent, so it's not everyday journaling, but it's whenever something significant happens, or I feel, those bursts of motivation. And so I've been framing it like chapter blah blah blah, because when you read a book, you're not seeing or witnessing every single day of their lives throughout that period of throughout the period that the book covers. Some days are consecutive, then it's like a month later or 3 months later, whenever something significant occurs or it's worth taking note of, that adds to the story or the plot line. And I feel like that's the way that I've been writing my diary this year, and it's so cool. Every time I look at the pages before, it not only makes me feel proud of myself, of who I am, but also it makes it interesting. Like sometimes I feel like writing a diary is so boring, and this sort of makes it a little more interesting. And it's not just that, as I said, it's like an everything journal. So I've also added like scrapbook journaling, where you add different pictures or collages and then you write about it. So there's like places I want to travel and uska, like a scrapbook and like so many pictures, and you know, the journal entry about, you know, wanting to travel that place, or poems or different ideas regarding whatever I'm working on, whether it be a book, whether it be a video, whatever I'm working on, all of that ideas just goes into it. If I come across a really interesting concept or a really interesting like topic and I really want to learn about it, or a really interesting video, I will take my notes in this diary. It's not just that I'm writing chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, but between those as well, I write those letters to future self as well. So yes, the chapters are there, but sometimes when I don't want to write that much, or I don't feel it's as significant to be a chapter, but it's still important, that I just want to like blur it out on a page, it just ends up becoming a letter to future self. There's also pages in here of me learning different words of a different language. And there's like, if I learn a new word that's really interesting, that has a really interesting meaning, and it's of a different language or the same language, but whatever, I jot it down in this book as well. So different things, like it just adds more whimsy into my life. It adds more fun, like side quest kind of an energy into my life. And I do random doodles in it. If I find a random poster or stickers, or whenever I find something interesting, I put it in here. And then it has pages where I'm scripting, some pages where I'm just listing out the things that I want, like my goals, listing out things I'm grateful for, all those things as well. So it's like an everything journal basically. I'm a kind of person who's in love with language, in love with like words, and so there's like everything to me, that I get to create my own chapters and write their own titles. It's so cool. And it also makes sense because I am a writer and I am working on my book. It's called Living in a Parallel Universe. Like chapter 1, the day has come. Chapter 2, here I am now. It's so interesting to be able to look back. So how I usually do it is whatever I have in my mind, the first thing that comes to my mind that really, really is significant, I take that and then frame a title from there. So if I'm thinking about how I've learned to make new boundaries or understood how to be confident, then based off of that, I would create a title. That's how I journal in 2026. If you want to know more about it in detail, do let me know and I'll make another video for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.